Minutewomen took on Rhode Island at the Mullen Center on Sunday afternoon for the girls' senior night. Our own Sanzo was there with the story.
UMass hosted Rhode Island this past Sunday. It was senior day at the Mullen Center. The three seniors, Paula Tonahowitz, Emily Mattal, and Kim Pierre-Louis, were honored with framed jerseys, and each had their respective countries' national anthems played before the game. The game started off slow for the Minutewomen. URI jumped out to an early 11-3 lead, thanks in part to his Charisse Wilson mid-range jumper. Sierra Dillard would not stand for that. The freshman is able to make the field goal and draw the foul, resulting in a three-point play. She would have 20 total points by the conclusion of the game. The clutch shots kept coming for the Minutewomen. In her final Mullen Center appearance, Emily Mattal, the buzzer-beating three, to put the UMass Minutewomen up 26-23. Like always, Kim Pierre-Louis was a part of the action. She was able to make this tough layup while engulfed in Rhode Island players. The Minutewomen defeated URI 78-70. Coach Sharon Dawley had this to say following the game.
It's a day we've been dreading. It's a senior day that we didn't really want to have happen. We don't want to lose these guys, but we're excited about where they're at, and we're excited about whatever they choose to do. They're going to be great at it, so we couldn't be prouder of our seniors.
Welcome back to the women's basketball segment. I'm here with our beat reporters, and that's Kaitlin, Corbett, and Sanzo. Now, this team is taking on Dayton and URI in the past couple of games, and we saw some of the highlights through those videos, like the one that you just had for us, Phil. So I'm going to ask you right now, are these two games a good representation of how the Minutemen will play come the A10 tournament?
I definitely think it could be a very good representation. These last two games, they've been momentum-filled for the Minutewomen. They lost to Dayton, but Dayton's one of the top-ranked teams in the conference, and they played them very well. Only lost, I think, 69-60 was his final score. So he played them very well. URI, they end up being, that's also a top-ranked, not a top-ranked team, but they're better than the Minutewomen in the conference-wise. So definitely have a chance against Bonnie's in the conference. And Sharon Dawley, coach, believes so also in a press conference. She said she believed that team was tournament ready. So I think they definitely have a chance with the momentum. The problem with the Minutewomen all year is that their inconsistency. They've played really good games and they play really bad games right after that. So it's going to be, we have to see how it happens tomorrow against Bonnie's, but they have a chance. They do.
Now, Phil, one player who was consistent throughout the season is Kim Pierre-Louis.
Yeah, absolutely.
She reached 500 points in that last game against URI, which was a feat that only 5 Minutewomen have done. So that was a great thing.
Yeah, she's been a stud all season.
So now we head into this A10 tournament, and that's the first round, and we're taking on St. Bonaventure. Obviously, we are the underdog in this game. So, Kaitlin, tell me what we could expect.
Well, Chris, I think we can expect the women to play a good game, hopefully. In their previous two meetings, they lost both of them. The most recent was on January 31st. It was a 20-point loss. So hopefully that's not what the preview of the game is going to look like coming into tomorrow's game. But I think what the Minutewomen really need to work on is getting to the free throw line. In that last game against St. Bonaventure, they only shot 13 of 19 from the free throw line, and St. Bonaventure was able to go 23 for 30. So that right there is a pretty big deficit, and I think the Minutewomen could account for that if they got to the line more often.
Now I'm going to have to ask you right now, taking all that into account with the free throws, what do you think is going to happen in this game? Do we see an upset happening?
I see an upset. I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to say they can pull it off.
All right, I like that. So I think Kim Pierre-Louis has to score a couple of points in that game to pull off that upset. All right, so now we talked about this game. Phil, I'm going to ask you, what's next for this team following the tournament? We talked about the big improvement from last year. Only a handful of games won last year. This year has been such an improvement. What's next?
Well, I'm not too optimistic about tomorrow's game, so I'm going to say what's next is going to come a lot sooner than other people think. But the Minutewomen will be losing Kim Pierre-Louis, Emily Mattal, so they're going to have those two big voids in the offense. Sierra Dillard has been prominent all season as a freshman. I feel she's going to take the team next year. Also with Rashida Timbilla, she's definitely going to, the center for them is definitely going to be a big offensive help, but also under the boards with the rebounds. So with those two players, I don't think the Minutewomen are going to win as many games as they did this year, but they're going to be the leaders come January.
Kaitlin, do you see a bright future for this team?
I do. I think, like he said, it's up to the younger players to take over next season and really lead the team to a victory.
All right, great, guys. Well, hopefully this team continues to grow as they did this year, because that's what we're looking for out of the Minutewomen. All right, and we wish them good luck in this A10 tournament against St. Bonaventure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back, and we're doing a special video breakdown segment on the men's lacrosse team. Stay tuned.